This is MikeBot. Today I'm going to be doing a quick little wood PLA settings video for the AnkerMake M5. If you would like me to export this profile and send it to you, then please join my membership. As you can see here, you start with as little as $2.99 a month and you'll have full access to live chats with me, live support, as well as me able to send you profiles privately and help you out with your printers and so on. So right here, I have input the baby Groot that I found on Thingiverse. This is not my file, not my creation. Go to Thingiverse, look for baby Groot sitting down smiling. That's the creator of this. And so basically, I'm going to print baby Groot out of wood. Why? You got to do baby Groot. It's one of the best wood things you can print. Wood PLA is light. It's sandable like wood. It's basically infused with wood. I shouldn't call it wood PLA. But anyway, I have found settings that work really, really well, and I have successfully printed many, many different STL files with wood material. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start here. So like usual, make sure you select PLA Plus and make sure you select Expert Mode. Once you have Expert Mode and your settings are done, make sure you save it and create a profile like I've done right here. So first things first, for resolution, I went 0.3. I kept the rest of the settings basically default. The only thing maybe you might want to look into checking, make sure it's checked, is the holes, and make sure the slow down overhang inner wall is selected as well. For quality, 0.2 millimeter. I am using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, so this works really well. Initial layer height 0.14, line width 0.4. These are basically default settings. I haven't modified too much on them, so I won't really go over them. Walls 1.2. I like to have my walls slightly thicker because I want to reduce the infill and save on material. This doesn't affect your wood settings whatsoever. It's just a setting that I recommend you apply to all your prints if you want them to be stronger and not use as much infill. Now, settings that I always select, and this is my personal preference and it works for wood or any PLA plus really, and it makes the print a lot stronger, is basically optimize wall printing order, alternate extra wall, compensate wall overlaps, and compensate inner wall overlap specifically, fill gaps everywhere, fill out tiny gaps. This ensures there's no holes or any issues in the print itself. Make sure thin walls is checked off. And then for Z seam, I go sharpest corner, smart hiding. And that's it for the walls section. For top bottom, 0.8 is the default. If you want top bottom thickness a little bit more thicker and sturdy and durable, 1.2. Again, not really much here to modify. The defaults are fairly good. I do always enable ironing because, especially when I'm doing models, because I like my print to look clean. Zigzag's nice, concentric's nice. Personal preference for you. Choose what you like better. For ironing flow, 10%, and then ironing speed, 100, ironing acceleration, 2500, jerk, 15. Feel free to pause the video if I am going too fast. I cannot take a long time to describe everything because the video will be too long and people will lose interest really quick. So infill, I usually go 10%, 20% for models. Anything else, I'll go 30%, 40%, never more than 50. It's a waste of material to go anything more than 50 realistically. I always go with triangles because I like strength, but if you don't want to use triangles because they do take a little bit longer to print, then you can definitely go with cross or cubic or grid. But triangles is probably one of the better ones in my opinion. I always connect infill lines. I always do 50% overlap. This again, you don't have to do this. It's going to slow down your print and use more material, but I like strong prints. And then I always check infill before walls. That's basically it for the infill. Material. The only thing I mess around with is the temperature. The material I use, which is the ESUN wood, it likes hotter temperatures, and I don't like clogs. So I usually go with 220. I actually did have a clog when I went down to 215, and it ruined this print completely about halfway through. So 220 is pretty good for wood. Keep it there. Make sure the temperature is 220 all across, 220, 220, and the build plate 60. You can get away with 50 if you really want to. Flow 100%. The printer is already pretty well calibrated, but if you notice they're under extrusion, then you want to reduce your under extrusion. You want to increase your flow, and if it's over extruding, you'll see bubbles and it won't look right, and that's where you want to reduce it. But if it's coming out nice, then 100%. Now, in one of my prints with Groot, not Baby Groot, it was definitely over extruding, and I had to drop it down to 98%. But that's, again, you have to kind of take it as you see it with your print. If your print looks off, then you'll have to figure out if it's under extruded or over extruded. If you want me to do like a issues video, leave it in the leave a comment below, and I will make a video on the most common issues and how to fix them. Speed 250. The eSun stuff prints really well at 250, so does the Airy one. I have links below for Amazon if you want to go ahead and purchase those. Those two brands specifically have been really good at the 250 speed for me. So I do have acceleration control on, but if you want your print to be more detailed, get rid of acceleration control. The other thing I should add as well, if you really want your print to look really, really nice and detailed, change your nozzle to a 0.1 millimeter and then select the 0.2 millimeter option here. I personally do not know how well this works with the Anker yet. I'm not sure if they fine-tuned that, but on my Ender 5 Pro and using Cura, it works really well. Travel. My screen is scrolling like crazy here. Come on. I always enable retraction. Retract before outer wall. Avoid printed parts. Avoid supports. Cooling. I recommend you turn cooling on for wood. You might want to put your regular fan speed to 60 and then set the maximum fan speed to 100. I did mine at 90 and it works. It might clog your printer, so you might want to play around with the setting. Go to 60 if you're more comfortable with your printer. If you're not, then just set it to maybe 70 and leave it there and see how it works out. If it clogs, it clogs. You'll have to redo your print. It's wasted material, unfortunately. It's just the way it is with 3D printing. So for supports, I go with tree and touching build plate for wood. Tree does use more material in some cases, but in other cases, it doesn't. I like tree because it kind of supports everything the way I need it to, and it just looks cleaner and it's easier to remove, in my opinion. So support density, with wood, I go 15%. For most other material, I go 1% support density because it's a pain in the butt to remove these. But because wood sands so easily, I can get away with 15%. And even if it is a little tougher and it leaves some marks, I can sand it away just like wood. You can sand away normal PLA as well, but it doesn't look as clean. With the wood, it sands a lot nicer. And remember, you want a really, really high grit. Never go with 40, 60, 80, 100. Even 240 is way too low. You want to go, I'd say, at least 300 grit or higher when it comes to PLA. 600 preferably. And then when you want to smooth it all out, go with over 1,000 grit sandpaper. Build plate adhesion. Brim. Skirt works well. Brim works better for wood, I found. And that's basically it. So I just wanted this to be a quick little sweet video for everyone. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you'd like to see any other videos in the future, let me know and I'll get right on it. Thank you all for watching today. MikeBot out.